Hi all and welcome back to my Let's Play of Oblivion. Last episode we continued on with the Thieves Guild, and I am just finishing that up by collecting Lost Histories of Tamriel. Our mission objective that was stolen from Skingrad, but then the thief who did it was captured and we had to go and rescue another Argonian that was captured there, who's a reoccurring character now in the Thieves Guild. Let's just read this because it's only a couple of pages. In an earlier volume, I discussed the vagaries and influences of the Adric prophecies, more commonly known as the Elder Scrolls. Readers wanting to know the history behind the highly inappropriate appellation Adric can refer to chapters 23 through 27 of my previous work for a full explanation, as well as the incompetencies of my good comrade Therin of Mournhold, who named them thus. The influence of the archivally historic Elder Scrolls cannot be understated. Once a prophecy contained in an Elder Scroll is enacted in Tamriel, the text of the parchment becomes fixed. All readers ingest the same divine message. It becomes an historical document declaring the unequivocal truth of a past event. Scholars, even those as dim-witted as Therin of Mournhold, cannot argue the bias of the writer, like he has with any my earlier works. Not even magic can affect the word written upon those ancient pages. This is cool. The Elder Scrolls are cool. I have the Lost Histories of Tamriel. Now all I have to do is return them to Scriva in Breville. I wonder if that is signalling what this whole questline might be doing. I honestly forgot until I read that. Not that I know anything. But whilst we're here in Skingrad, we picked up a quest whilst walking through here called Paranoia. So a quick reminder. I met a mysterious wood elf named Glathair in Skingrad, who asked me to meet him behind the Great Chapel at midnight tonight. He wouldn't tell me what it was about, but promised to make it worth my while. Well, it's been a couple of nights, but it's around midnight, so let's go and find the Great Chapel in this lovely cobblestone town and see what this Glathair wants. He seems to believe something is chasing him or after him. What time is it? Oh, it's only 10 to 9, so we've got some time to kill. Hello, Glathair.
You came. You're sure you weren't followed? Good. I thought I could trust you. Nobody else in town. They're all in on it. All watching me. Well, yes. I need you to do something for me. I'll pay you gold. You like gold, don't you? Lots of gold.
I mean...
Here's my problem. I'm being followed. Watched. Marukotti selectives, maybe. Not sure. I'm a threat, you see, to their plans. I know too much. I need you to check out some people for me. The ones who are following me. Watch them. See where they go. Who they report to. Will you help me?
Yes, I will, but only because of the gold.
Very good. You won't be sorry. I'll pay you well. Did I say that already?
You did.
Let's start with Bernadette Penniless. Be outside my house at 6 a.m. You'll see her watching me. See where she goes and who she reports to. We'll meet here again tomorrow night. Oh, and never contact me in public. They're watching. They can't know you're helping me.
Who is this Bernadette Penniless?
Her house is almost directly across the street from mine, southwest of the Great Chapel. Coincidence? I don't think so.
So
Remember, Bernadette Penniless.
he's obviously motioned to be a conspiracy theorist and someone who's potentially got an overarching imagination, but I honestly can't remember where this quest goes, so it has my curiosity enticed. I wonder if there is actually a grand conspiracy against him, although I believe that may be unlikely. So I wonder if we just wait 6 hours, if that'll be bob on. Let's see. Here she is.
Good morning.
Can't you see that I'm very busy?
Yes. So she looked at him very briefly, walking past in the street, but I wouldn't exactly call that under heavy surveillance. Personally. Where'd she go? Oh, is this Oh, she's sitting.
Hi there.
The Altar have powerful wizards. It could be a dangerous situation.
Take care.
Bye.
God, the rambling in this game is so benign. This Bernadette doesn't seem to be much of a spy, I have to say.
I'm Bernadette Pinellis. I work for Tamika. I grow grapes for her wines.
Tell me about this Glarthir.
Some words should be shared only by friends. Go ahead. Thank you. That will... For me? Thanks. Well, I know he's a bit odd, but I've always thought he was kind of sweet. Lately, though, he has been stranger than usual. I think maybe he's been following me. I see him every morning on my way to chapel. I've tried to say hello, but he always pretends not to hear me.
Interesting.
Farewell.
Do we take her at her word? So midnight, so 9, so 12 plus 3, 15. Always a good sign to do maths out loud. But yeah, she doesn't seem to be perhaps the conspiracy we were hoping. I'll be honest, I've read ahead a little bit. Not fully, but just to be like, right, do I actually just need to watch her all day or not? Because that could be a fair old amount of time. So let's just go and see Glarthir and see how he reacts to the news of what we've just found out. I wonder if you can speak to each of the people or not. Hello.
So, you saw Bernadette Penniless, did you? She was watching me and following me, wasn't she?
She wasn't watching or following you.
Really? That is surprising. I was sure she was watching me.
And the reward?
Ah, of course. The gold. Here. But there is someone else I need you to investigate.
What else do you want me to do?
Tutius Sextius. Do you know him? A quiet fellow. Appears harmless enough. But I've identified him as one of my key suspects. He's a clever one, no doubt about it. Eyes in the back of his head. Always seems to know when I'm watching. But that's where you come in. You should wait outside his house and see what he does when he's not watching me. I'll meet you here tomorrow night to get your report.
Okay.
Don't let Tutius Sextius catch you following him. He's much more dangerous than he looks.
I wonder if this is again going to be one where we have to wait for ages.
A little bird told me that you've been asking around town about Glarthir, a resident eccentric. I'd like to know why.
He asked me to help him out.
Let me give you some advice. Glarthir is crazy. So far, harmless crazy. But I keep an eye on him because it's my job to. You don't want to get involved with him. I don't care how much he's paying you, it isn't worth it. Like I said, he's crazy. Since you're courteous enough to tell the truth, I'll do the same by trusting you to talk to a guard if he asks you to do anything strange.
I really hope I remember to cut that cough out. That's interesting, isn't it? Because he's the sort of thing that would suggest, oh, maybe there is something going on. You know, a authority figure asking me to step down. I mean, what he's asking me to do right now is kind of strange, I'll be honest. Let's wait till the morning and see what Sextius does.
You're new here, or you'd know me. Tutius Sextius. My people have lived in Skingrad since the dawn. Father and the Count were best of friends.
Well, you seem a bit like a prick, but you know.
I'm sorry, but I don't think I know any Glarthir. Oh, wait, do you mean that strange wood elf that you see wandering around the city? Yes, I've seen him, but never spoken to him. He seems to be at the Low Gate every morning when I pass by on my way to the castle. Gives me the strangest looks now that you mention it. Almost like he hates me, although I have no idea why.
Interesting. I think I do need to investigate this a little further. And being a brilliant thief, he says, waiting to turn invisible. Who can see me? Game. Glarthir, go away. How? Can these guards see through walls or something? Is there a back door? No. So I've looked around. Is it Sextius's house? There's no diary, nothing hidden. Broke into a few things just to make sure. Stole a couple of things, just to make sure. But we seem to be in the basement, in the clear. I am going to check the basement because, past history does prove out to me that if people are going to hide sketchy stuff, it's going to be in the basement. But it's just where he keeps his cheese. Ooh, silver. I mean, it's kind of heavy, so we'll leave it. We'll leave it this time. I wonder if he comes down here for his meals. Got his grain. Actually, it's quite cool down here, but it looks damp as well. Kind of mildewy. I don't know if I'd want food stored there. Seems like it could go rotten quite easily. Right, Glarthir, you're being a mad case. I need to point out to you that the people who you're telling me to follow aren't following you so far, in my experience. So 12 minus 2. It might be a bit over time, but Let's see what he says this time.
Tell me what you learned about Tutius Sextius.
Tutius. He is not watching you.
Really? So you're saying that neither Bernadette Penniless or Tutius Sextius is part of the conspiracy against me? Hard to believe.
What about the reward?
Yes, the gold that you value so highly. I wonder what price betrayal. Never mind that. Well, we shall see. I do have one more name for you.
What else do you want me to do?
Do you know David Sorelli? Yes, of the famous Sorelli
Sorelli?
Pillar of the community, etc. Who would ever suspect
Why has he
him?
suddenly gone talking so posh?
Perfect cover for the ringleader of the whole conspiracy. He watches my house constantly. You'll see.
I'm sure I will.
He leaves his house early each morning. Watch him and report back to me here at midnight as usual. Make sure he doesn't notice you.
Let's go through these here as well. Have you got anything more to say on Bernadette?
I still can hardly believe she wasn't watching me, but it is a relief to be able to finally stop worrying about her.
Anything to say on Cyrilli?
The Sorelli house is right next door to mine. A large house with a backyard conveniently located to observe my every move.
Sextius?
I was sure he was part of the conspiracy. Sure of it. I guess it just goes to show... Well, we'll see what it goes to show, won't we?
And Skingred.
There's so much I could tell you. So many secrets. But then you'd be in danger too. It's best if we're not seen talking. Be careful.
See, I'm interested to see, because it's beyond conspiracy. It is paranoia, isn't it, which he's exhibiting. And I'd be interested to see... it doesn't seem like it's a... How to put this? Not necessarily wholesome, but it doesn't seem as if it's... That's Glarthir. I do want to kind of have a look in Glarthir's house, actually, whilst we're here. an empathetic portrayal of paranoia or paranoid delusions. It's just the symptoms of it. You know, he is displaying symptoms of these things and shows that quite readily. But it's not sympathetic, is it? It's more just, here's a fun thing to structure a plot around. I suppose you do see that he pushes people away to a degree, and you see that people's reactions in the town around him are also negative. So I just always think it's an interesting, whenever video games bring up mental health of various types, it's interesting to see how they approach it, because the approaches tend to be bad, and you can sort of dive in a little bit and try and pull back some further information. Beautiful, very hard lock, picked. I'm not an expert on these things, I should say, from the other side of it. It's not like I have particularly in-depth knowledge on, paranoia or anything. And these things are complicated, really complicated. But you can sort of pick it apart, the portrayal at least. I feel bad nicking his gold, but I do think he is delusional, so let's have a look around to see if there is anything to point to as such. It's interesting that his house seems to be in a state of readily to leave. His only interesting items are chests, money scattered around, and books. I wonder why he's not come back either. It's fun to see if the designers have also constructed anything with the people's houses in the story, to see if any personality's been inserted there. And I think there has to a degree, and it's probably one of the benefits to being... Of course his notes are in the basement. I fear the conspiracy thread spreads further than I thought. The supposed stranger in town appears to be involved. Is it likely that both Bernadetta Pinellas and Sextius are blameless? But I must not act without proof. I have always held myself to higher standards than my enemies. The report on Cirilli will tell me the tale. I fear the end is near, but I will not go down without a fight. They will know that Glarthir, at least, did not submit to their yoke quietly. Good news, I still have a chance. Found someone to help me today. A stranger who can move freely. Hope to have proof against Bernadetta Pinellas tonight. Pinellas is not involved, at least my acquaintance tells me. I hope it is true, but my instincts are rarely wrong. But I have no reason to suspect treachery yet. The report on Sextius should help me decide. We've read this one. Be interesting to see what the notes say if you sort of push him up. Current thoughts on the conspiracy. Mukati selectives, most likely, ruthless and secretive. I have undoubtedly earned their enmity by my vigilance numerous times. The Blades, supposedly the guardians of the Empire. Question, do they know that I know their dark secret? Everything hinges on that. Mythic Dawn, need to learn some more about them. Obscure hints from various sources suggest that they could be the most dangerous of the three. Question, why do they want me dead? Mundus, today I caught Pinellas watching me. I have very little doubt that she is one of them. This saddens me. I had thought her as one of the few to show me kindness in this nest of treachery, but now that seems that it was all a lie. Cirilli watched me, followed me. So I suppose it does show something, and it's not necessarily sympathetic, but it shows that he is pushing everyone away. You know, his madness is removing everyone around him. It's just, I suppose I could speak to you.
What can I do?
Glarthir.
You have something you want to tell me about?
It also shows how unsympathetic other people are. He thinks there's a plot against him.
Really? He's getting worse then. Thanks for letting me know. If you think he's becoming dangerous, you come straight to me, and I'll handle it.
I do like the way the guards are portrayed, because they're completely unsympathetic to him, along with the fact that they just call him a nutcase. You know, they're horrible to him. So it probably has some representation of how people are treated. It's always fun trying to work through these things. Let's get this quest finished anyway.
I'm David of Surili Brothers Vineyard. Gaston is my brother. From our vineyards come the finest wines in Tamriel.
Finer than Tamika's?
Yeah, well, in all honesty, no. But our wines are very good, and much cheaper than Tamika's very fine product, I
Very
assure
good.
you.
Do you know your neighbour, Glorthir?
Some words should be shared only by...
Well, money always makes
Yes?
people friends.
For me? Well, isn't that sweet? of you?
Glorthir?
I don't mean to gossip, but he is more than a bit strange. However, he's always been tolerated as the town eccentric.
Nothing of interest on the subject.
Good day.
But we are fairly sure at this stage that Glorthir's paranoia is getting the worst of him. How best to handle this situation? How does the game let us handle this situation? We can obviously turn over information to the guards and suspect that Glorthir is getting dangerous. I suppose the note we've taken from his basement suggests as such, but can we trust the guard to handle this with any amount of care? Or should we try and have a conversation with Glorthir? Do we think we're better at it? I think we're going to have a conversation. Just because I want to see what's being said. I always have to balance these things in these Let's Plays of, you know, sometimes the character actions I take aren't out of some role-playing side of it. It's just, I'm interested in what happens if I poke at this particular way. Glorthir, where are you? Poking at the bounds just to see what the game says rather than, you know, oh, I think my character would do this action. In the rain.
So, what did you discover about the upstanding David Surly?
He's not spying on you.
Just as I suspected, they've gotten to you too. Not one of them involved in the conspiracy, and you expect me to believe that? Now I know for sure that they are all in on it, and therefore they all have to die, starting with you.
It's kind of sad ending. Can we just wear him out? I feel a bit bad taking on a wood elf with my sword. Let's go to the guards. Am I snitch? Okay. I don't really have too much options in this matter. So we're just going to take this route out. Oh, Glorthir. Glorthir is dead. My attempts to convince him that there was no conspiracy against him have ended in tragedy. I will loot him, though. I'm also interested if I can find that Dion again and speak to him. He was around here a second ago. Glorthir.
He turned up dead. I guess someone finally got tired.
No.
Of his crazy behavior.
Okay. I was kind of hoping we could like have a conversation with the guards and sort of see what they said in reaction to his death. But I suppose if he did just turn up, then... So what's going to be next for us now we've finished up here in Skingrad, finishing the Paranoia quest? I think it's time for us to buy a house. It's time for us to get a home base. I think it would be interesting to sort of play around with that. I think the one in Anvil potentially is quite cheap and has a cool quest associated with it. So I'll have a look into that, but I'll see what we can afford as well. We definitely can't get the Skingrad one. I think that's multiple thousands, which we don't have yet. But I think a house will be the right way to go. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. For more Let's Play of Oblivion, I would like your support by dropping a like on the video. It's really as easy as pressing a button. If you can subscribe to me, I will be producing this along with various other videos that at this moment are kind of work in progress, so I won't get too deep into that. And if you have any questions or any thoughts on the game, I know recently I got some comments about mods, so if you have any mods that you'd like to see, pop it in the comments. I'm not definitely doing anything this second, but I'm definitely not opposed to doing anything. You know, we can have a look and see if there's something that takes my fancy, but it will be after completing the main Let's Play of Oblivion, so a little while down the line. Right, my name's been Billy. Thank you for watching.